happened is peculiar here. It's peculiar. But I'm worried, based on this Ekiti gate, if a former governor, a PDP candidate, was intimidating a general in the army, I'm worried. Yeah, they have credentials. The army has their own, they have good image. But we saw it on the tape. In quote, Fayoshe was intimidating a general.
Okay.
So we have to be very careful in the way the military, goes into the politics. The arrow should be well defined.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Now, some quarters have fears about the use of the military in the elections. Now, Jide, would you say that their fear is genuine?
I think that what INEC needs to do is to dispel the fears of our people. INEC should come out clearly and state exactly what the soldiers will be doing. Because if we don't use the military, I can see a lot of problems coming our way. And look, even on this program, we've talked about it in the past, I can see clearly that an overwhelming majority of Nigerians want the military to play one role or the other at the elections because they don't trust the police. That is the reality. They don't trust the police. Even peacekeeping. I remember when I was growing up and we had these Maitasine attacks and the rest. We first used the police. When the police, after a few days, could not restore control, we had to use the army. And every riot in the north that I witnessed, that was what happened. Even ordinary street urchins will hold us by the jugular for days. The police will be powerless until soldiers are, deployed from their barracks before peace will be restored. So Nigerians who know this are the ones who are saying, look, we want soldiers to play a part in this election, but they don't have to come near the polling units. And I also believe that with what transpired in Ekiti, it will be difficult for anyone to attempt to use the military again to rig an election or intimidate people, as it happened in Ekiti. So, but you see, the merits of having the police, having the army, police our elections far outweigh the demerits. I remember that immediately after, I was watching a Nigerian TV station in 2000, when did Oshomole have that election? Just a few hours to the election that gave Oshomole a second term. And Oshomole was he addressed the Edo people. He said, don't be afraid of the military. The president has assured me that the military have come to ensure that this election is peaceful and that you are able to exercise your franchise. Don't be afraid of them. They mean no harm. And that was exactly what happened. That was why immediately after he won that election, the first place he went to was Aso Rock to thank the president for deploying the military. And he contested that election against a former paymaster general of the Nigerian army, a retired general. Yet the military didn't side with the general. They remained, neutral. So we believe that they can do this even in the coming elections, because we really do not have a choice. There is so much weapons in the hands of Nigerians. Thugs are brandishing weapons in the open these days. I always talk about my people who went to cover party primaries in Ketu here. Okay. And suddenly these guys began shooting. Even policemen took to their heels. So what if that were to happen on election day? Won't there be complete bedlam?
Then anybody will come and do what they want to do.
Policemen took to their heels. So I believe that INEC needs to come and tell Nigerians, this is why we want the military.
Yeah.
There will be clear rules of engagement. Don't come. I think the rule has always even been that they should not move within 100 meters to the polling. So that should be the case.
I guess that rule has to be rehashed for the electorate
to
really understand what the role of the military is. Now, there is a court case, or rather a court ruling barring the deployment of the military or for the police of the elections. Now, do you see the president going ahead to use the military despite the order?
it's not the president using the military. It's INEC. The president doesn't conduct elections. It's INEC using the military. And I think, based on what you have said, the context is not deploying troops. It's using the military to maintain security. So I think that is studying enough. Studying enough. The president has considerable power. It's not the privilege to deploy soldiers to maintain law and order. So in this instance, based on what you said, which I agree, we are what we are facing is unusual. We need soldiers to restore confidence and be able to be comfortable with going from their houses to vote. I think it's important. But as I insist that the rules must be, the engagement must be defined. The
rules of engagement must be
Absolutely.
defined. And then the re-educating of Nigerians about
it's not against
the
law, the ruling. No. If they are deployed, to me, it's not against the law. If they are told what to do and they are unbiased.
Don't step beyond their bounds.
Absolutely.
Now, there are fears that, like you earlier noticed, that the military could be compromised. How do we avoid that in these elections? Jide, let me come back to you again.
Well, the INEC still has a great role to play because INEC is the arbiter in these elections. Now, if INEC would do the needful, there is no way a soldier can get involved in the counting process, for example. There's no way a soldier will say, no, don't accredit this fellow. This person has no right to vote. The soldiers must be made to keep their distance. They will be on the streets, you know. So if they make them to keep their distance, in fact, because Jega himself said it after the, I think the E15 election, that look, in future, we'll have to define to what extent the military will be involved.
Yeah.
That it will never allow in future a situation whereby hooded security men will be parading the streets and intimidating people on election day. So I believe that if INEC will live up to their promise, there is no way the military will be able to.
But quickly, beyond just determining where they stand, we heard about the audio tape, where they go or shouldn't go, their limits on. Is it just beyond, isn't it beyond that, compromising the military for the elections?
How? How do you mean?
Now, like he said,
yeah,
they have a determinant position while the election is going on. But like we got on the tape, it is beyond just where you go to. So compromising the military, is it not beyond just determining where the position you stand?
There's something that you said, that based on what happened, based on what, even though it's not,
okay,
nobody can rig an election without INEC connivance. Quickly,
we need to take a video. I will be back with that response.
Yes, the arrangement that the Commission has for the 2015 elections is the same it has maintained since 2011 elections, namely that security agencies will work together on the platform of Inter-Consultative Committee on Election Security. Now, that agency comprises all uniformed agencies, both military and paramilitary, ranging from the police, the military, the Air Force, the customs, down to the fire service, the prison service, the road safety, and all that. And so, and the way they've always operated is that you never find an armed agent at the polling unit, even the police. You will not find anybody who is bearing arm near the polling unit. There's an average of 3 unarmed security agents, police and possibly civil defense, in the polling unit. But you have people providing outer peripheral cordon. In other words, they are in reserve. They are not visible. But they are there such that if there's an outbreak, there's a challenge with security, and that challenge cannot be contained by people who are out there and are visible. They can be rapidly called upon and they will intervene. That's the role they've always played. They've never been visible. They've never come close to the polling unit. They've never been around the place where people will see them. But the assurance that they are there is also a deterrence to people who could foment trouble. They have no role whatsoever in the electoral process proper. They neither come near the polling units, nor handle electoral materials, nor get involved with electoral staff, or anything of the sort. So how they could be used, honestly, I can't imagine how that is possible. Even though a handful of military people are mobilized, they are never close to where people are. Statistical evidence actually shows that the knowledge, the mere knowledge that people, if there is trouble, there can be intervention to quell the trouble if that trouble is beyond the capacity of those who are unarmed at the polling unit, has actually encouraged voters to come turnout. We have Osun as evidence. The voter turnout in Osun is unsurpassed in the history of elections in this country. And yet, the arrangement was there. We also have Ekiti as an example. Ekiti was not as high as Osun, but it was there. Because you see, we've had experiences in this country where hoodlums rampage freely at the police station, and you encounter unarmed policemen or unarmed civil defense people, and the voters themselves would be helpless, and they could be in danger. But the voter knowing that that kind of thing cannot happen without intervention is also a reassurance that the security environment is guaranteed.
Well, at this point, we'll take a break as we sign off on TVC Entertainment, but the program continues on TVC News Nigeria. Simply tune in to channel 190 on Concert and continue to enjoy the show.
The dawn determines the day. The day sets the time as Nigerians troop to the polls to elect a new set of leaders. Follow the team of professionals as we take you across the country, bringing you informed analysis, projection, and up-to-date reports. Watch out on TVC News Nigeria, TVC News Africa, TVC Entertainment, Radio Continental 102.3 FM, Adaba 88.9 FM, and Unique 103.1 FM in partnership with Gotel TV, Core TV, The Nation, and The News. Join us for a comprehensive coverage of the elections as Nigerians decide.
Welcome back. You're still watching E15 on TVC News Nigeria. Now we saw Kayode Idoudia, the spokesperson to INEC chairman, talking about how he doesn't understand how the military will be able to rig the elections when they don't even go close to the ballot papers, neither do they handle election materials. But like you were responding earlier, you were trying to say something when I asked that. It's beyond, isn't it beyond just handling, having a particular position to stand or handling ballot papers, looking at the fact that there was an audio leaked and they showed how the military was involved in an election.
That was the assumption before the Ekiti gate scenario. That was the assumption because I have covered elections and I've noticed that the military are not really involved in electoral process. They maintain security. They provide cover for people. They provide that assurance. They make the atmosphere more secured, you know, but they are not deliberately intervening in the electoral process. But I begin to change my mind because of this Ekiti gate scenario. That's what I'm saying. Because if a brigadier can be intimidated and be told, instructed to what to do, then I mean there's problem. But as I said something too, that the military will not want their image to be soiled, you know. And I think there are more people in the military who are men of integrity, who are officers and gentlemen. They will not allow it to happen. So I think, based on what Khalid said, which I think that thing you just showed to me was very, very timely and auspicious. You know, that how can they influence the process? They don't carry sensitive materials. They're not involved in elections. So I think that assurance, to me, I will take it. But